G'day everyone, welcome back to another EP of Life's A Mitch, second one of 2023. And by the time this comes out, I've got some exciting news which I'll share later. So on this episode, another reoccurring guest, one of the absolutely lovely faces of Newcastle. So if you cast your minds about, oh gosh, would have been the other side of the pandemic. I spoke to this guest and she's pretty much a superhuman. She's a cancer survivor broadcaster. She runs the radio station Mood Food Radio, and she's got some exciting news to share and doing some great things. I'd like to welcome back Martini Peterson. How you doing today?
I am really well. Thank you, Mitch. Thank you for having me aboard. I appreciate your time. Yeah, it's been a while since we chatted. It's been nearly 3 years.
Has it been that long? Wow,
Yeah, it's
that's
been that
crazy.
long. Yes, yes. Yeah, it has.
So I thought we'd catch things up, see how you've been. So, how have
Mm.
you been? How's Newcastle going? And yeah,
Newcastle's going fabulous. I've had a bit of a tragic run actually the last couple of years because I think the last time I did chat with you, I had got my second event of breast cancer in 20 years, and I was celebrating 20 years, clean and sober from breast cancer, and it came and whacked me with another dose in the other boob. So yeah, I was the last time I chatted with you, I had just gotten that and I'd started treatment. So a lot has happened since then because I got really sick from the treatment. It hit me like a bus, and it did some really bad things to my insides, the radiation treatment. And I ended up at the end of the day losing my stomach, my gallbladder, half my liver, my pancreas. I got damage to my aorta, lost half my bowel. Yeah, it's been a horrendous couple of years. I've been in and out of hospital for huge stays. I've had drains and everything. And then on top of that, I actually got breast cancer again in the other one, the initial one, back in March. So I then had a double mastectomy in March, and then half my bowels out in the May. So I'm slowly clambering back to life, Mitch.
wow,
Yes.
like it's a one-stop removal shop. Wow, I'm
It,
very sorry to hear that, but it's good to see. I just don't mean to make light of the absolute hardship you've had to go through, but it's
yeah.
good to see you look radiant today. You look like you're absolutely doing well, and so I really am happy to see that you're coming through it with
Yeah.
thriving and doing well. And for anyone out there who hasn't met Martini, she's about as tough as they get. And on top of that, you're extremely selfless. You're very kind, and you're very devoted to helping others. And so, one thing I wanted to do was to kick things off before we delve into the world of what you've been up to and something that you wanted to talk about today was something extremely important. Was every episode I like to stay consistent. So would you like to join me in having a quick bitchy with Mitchy today?
Oh, yes, of course. Bitch away. I'm all for a good bitch. And
Right, so
I know
so
you are too. And this is always my favorite part of your show. So
I'm
bring
such a
it
bitch. I'm such a bitch. Um, so the I always offer the guest to go first, or I can. So the choice is yours.
you go first. I want to hear it. You rant
Okay.
first.
So I do have a bit of an announcement. As of today, after we record this, I'm going to put a sold sign on a house I bought. First home.
Wow, congratulations.
Thank you. Pretty excited. And I guess the bitch is the process to go through to buy a house. My goodness, what a
Right.
shitstorm!
Yeah. Yeah.
You got to pay slips, then you got to get finances, and got to go to brokers, insurance. It's just a long-winded thing, conveyances and all that stuff. But for now, the finance is approved. The deposit's been taken out. I'm going to put a sold sign up. So yeah, the bitch is. And if anyone's gone through this process anywhere across the world, I don't know what it's like in other countries, but here in Australia, what an absolute shitstorm.
Yeah.
But it's going to be well worth it. A little piece of land and house that'll be mine until I pay it off from the bank. And but no, it's pretty exciting stuff.
You'll own the front doorknob anyway.
Oh shit, yeah, I can't wait.
Yeah, for a cut. Yeah, for a small time. That whole process is just the bureaucratic process is pretty crap, isn't it?
Yeah.
To get through that. And if I can carry on with that with my bitching is I guess in general it really peeves me off that people in their jobs just don't take accountability for for what they're doing within their jobs. I've always thought in my role, the buck stops with me, and I need to take accountability and responsibility for everything. If it goes right, if it goes wrong, fabulous. But you talking about that bureaucratic within that whole, dealing with banks and brokers and real estate agents and so on. I'm talking about dealing with lawyers sometimes. My personal with doctors and hospitals. Oh
Yep.
my gosh. Looking at people, taking accountability and responsibility for the decisions that they make or the actions that they do, rather than palming it off to someone else or putting it back on you as, this victim blaming stuff. That's what is my pet peeve, I would say. That's my bitchy is, come on, pull your socks up. If you're doing something right or doing something wrong or doing, traveling along okay, just take some accountability and responsibility, whether that's professionally or personally. But I hear you with the bureaucratic.
Yeah, it's all that red tape because you are, as well as running a radio station, you're also a medical practitioner as well. You're in the psychology field too. Am I
Yeah.
right?
Yes, yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I still work in the field. I still work every afternoon when I put down the mic every morning after my radio show. I then put on another hat and I'm a psychologist. So I don't do so much clinical work, counselling. I do more assessment stuff. But certainly, it's dealing with a lot of bureaucracies, a lot of different agencies, a lot of government as well, and it can be tough trying to manage all of those things. And I mean, it's for me as a professional working in that, and I've been doing that for 25 years. I'm an old person, Mitch. I kind of know the ropes and know how to do it. But for people who are coming through my practice, who this is the first time they've had to deal with, lawyers or the police system or looking at medical issues, this is that can be really overwhelming and quite confounding, and people do. And these, bigger agencies are really geared to hoping that you just give up, put your hands in the air and walk off, and deal with your problem elsewhere, or don't deal with it. It's almost a predatory system that's out there. So that's my pet peeve.
Yeah, no, that's coming from a medical professional. I agree with you 100%. I work in industry where, so I'm in the mines. I have been now for almost a decade, and you have to take responsibility, and the onus rests with you.
Yeah.
But some of us are operating machines that are 400 or 500 tons plus 400 tons of soil on the back of them, and if we stuff up, we'll kill someone potentially. So yeah, 100% agree with you. Take ownership, and then that way, if you do tell a lie, then tell a lie to cover that up. Lie gets another, and then before you know it, you're in all sorts of trouble. So yeah, 110% agree with you.
Effect. Yeah, the snowball effect of one white lie, can be quite disastrous.
Yeah, well, so moving on from there. So if you guys out there who are listening want to scroll back about 30 something episodes, Martini initially come on and shared a story about how she got in radio and set up. So this is a follow on from that episode. So I won't delve in too much into her professional career because she's already sort of told the story. But one thing today I wanted to ask you about is you've got a harbour swim in Newcastle coming up soon.
Yes.
It's called Got Your Back Sista. So can you tell us about that? You're trying to raise some money. So you've gone through all these cancers and you're still going out trying to raise money for others. You are an incredible human being. Can you please tell us about Got Your Back Sista?
Well, I'd raise it for myself, but that doesn't go down well. So Why am I doing this swim? Well, I did the swim a couple of years ago, just before I had surgeries and treatment. Because after surgeries and treatment, it's very hard mobility wise after you have a mastectomy, or your lymph nodes out with breast cancer. It can be very hard to move your arms, and so I really thought that this would be the last time that I would be doing the swim. And this time, after having my stomach out, half my bowel out, half my liver out, um, I've had, I've only just had my drains taken out back in August. So it's only been a few months that I've actually been back in the pool. I had to go to the Caden Cancer Centre, which is a fabulous place where cancer survivors can go, and with exercise physiologists, and build up their core muscles that they've, mine had been cut through from my chest down to my pubic bone and hip to hip. So I had to rebuild that, and getting in the pool was really good for me to try and, with all that scar tissue across my chest, across my bowels, across my stomach, to try and stretch it out, so I could start swimming again. I could start, life again. I could start taking the bins out, for instance, getting stuff out of the oven. All of those things that we usually take for granted were problematic for me. And also because I had my lymph nodes taken out, like so many other people have in breast cancer surgery, I actually needed some exercise to control that, to manage that. So I got back into the pool and realized quite soon that I could actually push myself and do quite a bit. So I thought, hey, I'll try the harbour swim again. It's 1.7 kilometres across Newcastle Harbour. You get into Stockton, get off Stockton, and come out Newcastle Wharf. They stop all the coal boats, all of the tugboats, the ferries. They stop all of those for a little while. Look out for sharks for you in the way, and Stockton lifeguards will guide us over to the other side. So I thought, I might as well start looking at raising some money, as well as some awareness for a local charity. Well, it's also, it does so much more than just a charity. Got Your Back Sista do fabulous things for women as well as their kids who have been through the trauma of domestic violence and have had to leave relationships. Some of these people have left with the clothes on their back, and Got Your Back Sista can help practically, looking at housing, getting you set up in a new house, clothing and things like that, but also then looking forward about putting women on courses to build their self-esteem, their resilience, how they manage relationships, to try and break some of these cycles that we have personally, as well as generational cycles as well. So it's a really good cause. It's here in Newcastle. It's also in the Hunter, and they're expanding as well, because what they do is such fabulous work. So I wanted to get the word out there, because this issue is very close to my heart, and I wanted to make sure that they can gain as much awareness and also donations, funding, because none of this happens, out of love and fresh air. It all comes down to money. So I thought if I could raise a few bob, raise some awareness, and they've been absolutely fantastic in supporting me doing that, and hopefully I make it across. I mean, I reckon, Mitch, somehow I'm going to have to get it. I'll be either dragged over to Newcastle or back to Stockton. Who knows? I'm going to have to get back to shore somehow.
We'll have the ferry on standby.
Yeah, that's
So
right.
if people want to get involved, how can they get involved? Where do they go?
Yeah. Well, you can get onto My Cause, is where the donation platform is, and you can look up Martini Mornings, Got Your Back Sista, and get onto that. Otherwise, you can get onto socials, of course, with Got Your Back Sista. They have it listed on there, as well as my socials, which is Martini Mornings, whether that's on Insta or or Facebook, or even Mood Food Radio are being a great support with that as well. So there's a few platforms that you can get us on, and make sure that that we know so many people who are fleeing domestic violence or have done and are doing it really tough and could do with a hand up. So directing people to these services and making people aware of them. And if you do have some spare time, so want to direct some cash, it's all tax deductible, of course, then this cause is definitely one to think of.
And I'll provide links to all those in the bio of the episode and on my socials as well. I'll be donating, and I think on behalf of many people, we want to say thank you for what you do, spreading the word, trying to raise that coin. And even if you don't make it, thank you to the guys on the wharf and on the ferry service. We'll get you. They'll get you across. We'll get it done.
Who'll be recovering the body, recovering me. Yeah, I'll be out on with Stockton lifeguards on. Yeah, I mean, if I'm going to be saved by anyone, I'm happy to be saved by some Stockton lifeguards.
You and me both. Stop. But yeah, I think an important takeaway from this is that if you're able to out there, even if it's $2, $3, $5, I'll be chucking some in myself. So it's not just, me trying to I'm going to be doing my bit as well. It's not just me passing on the word. I'm going to do my bit as well. So if you're out there today listening and you're able to, instead of cursing the darkness, light a candle, to show humanity and do your little bit, try and make someone smile today, because it's important. And then doing things like Martini's doing, like it makes me smile. My camera's quite distant, but I've got a cheesy little grin on my face. And to hear you, to not only go through your very, very hard journey that you've gone through physically, I'm sure it's had a mental strain on you as well. And then to help others professionally and entertain. And I don't know how many hours in the day you're able to cram this into, but it's extraordinary what you're able to achieve. And
And I must say, though, Mitch, it doesn't go without, I've got a huge support team behind me as well. And I must say, my kids have been just incredible, especially my two younger daughters have been just, when you have a chronic illness, and this has been going on, as I said, I've been doing breast cancer now for half my life. I'm 48 now. I've had breast cancer since I was 24, and the last 3 years, I've had 4 breast cancer events. And what that puts your family through, especially your children, is really tough. And then practically afterwards, not only do they see you with drains and drips hanging out of you when you come home, because when you come home from hospital, from having a double mastectomy, you're carrying around 4 drains coming out of your body in a pillowcase. They sent me home with a pillowcase, and I had to then try and squeeze out these drains every day. I mean, it's and I had to have my kids help me shower. I had to organise, and my daughter's Catholic school up the road here was incredible. They were picking her up every day and dropping her back home every day for school, and we're dropping her home with a home cooked meal every day that she could just put into the microwave, because I couldn't even use the microwave. I couldn't even use my arms. It was pretty bad there for a while. And my girls had to put bins out, had to Hunter Breast Cancer Foundation organised lawn mowing for me, which was fabulous. But it put a lot of responsibility onto my girls that probably, was fairly rough for them to have to deal with, as well as all the emotional stuff. Like, is this going to happen again? When is, mum going to have cancer again? When is she going to go into hospital? And there was a time there when I did have a complication after my bowel surgery, and without being too gruesome, I actually disemboweled myself and opened up the wound 15 centimeters by 15 centimeters, and was suddenly back in hospital for
Ouch.
five.
Oof.
Yeah, for 5 weeks. I was on my back for 5 weeks, and that was an emergency. I was taken down to Sydney by ambulance, and I didn't see my girls for 5 weeks. And what that does, the toll on me, but also my kids, is the unpredictability of having a chronic and acute illness in the family is really hard to manage.
Yep, it
And
is.
yeah, but they're resilient young women who have to adapt and have had to. And my hat goes off, to them who have really shown their true colours and their bravery and their courage to assist me, but assist us as a family, get to a positive place where then I can give back to the community who has given me so much as well. And I think that reciprocation, Mitch, is how what we need to be doing. If we cycle back to that, talking about responsibility and accountability. I truly think if you've been in a position where the community, your village, has helped you, and certainly I wouldn't have got through what I have done in the last year throughout amazing people doing, out extraordinary things to help me. And I think you've really got to give back, and make sure that the other people in the community, that the less, the more vulnerable, are also getting a hand up when they need it as well.
100%. Couldn't agree with you more. And as a sufferer who has I also have a chronic uh, illness as well. So you may not be aware, I have Crohn's disease, and
Yes.
hearing you speaking about your bowels and stuff like that, it's a very similar path than what my body could take me on. So to everyone out there who might know someone with a quote unquote invisible illness,
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
be kind, because
Yes.
if you're lucky enough to not have to go through even a third of what Martini's going through right now, or anyone who might have a chronic illness or whatever it might be, these people are battling them for life. There's nothing they can do, and they have to get on with their day. Like, I won't delve too much into my issues because people have heard it before, but something as simple as trying to drive home to see my parents. I accidentally crapped myself the other day at Lithgow McDonald's, and I had to go and, humiliatingly throw my jeans and stuff in the bin like you had my clothes in me. But people don't know that stuff, and I'm crying the whole way home going, fuck, I should be over this crap, mind the pun. But, it's, you have to just be kind. And I think we spoke about this last time. I like to use that. We did a mental health first aid training, and you might use this with your clients as well, but I like to look at people like icebergs. You see a minuscule amount on people's facial expressions. You have no idea what's under the surface, whether they've buried a loved one, argument with a spouse, whatever it might be.
Absolutely.
So be kind. And if you're able to give back in some way, like Martini is, then I think you're on your way to being a better human. I try to give back. I volunteer at the radio station here, and always have a heart out. Sorry, always have an ear out for friends in need. Someone in my life is going through a really tough marriage breakup now, and he's battling depression, the poor guy, and just trying to be supportive along the way, and just being, shine a light as opposed to cursing the darkness. And
yes,
if you're able to even just make someone smile for the day, a good deed, hold a door open, whatever it is. I'm an advocate for that as well. And thank you for actually giving insight as to what it's like to be on the receiving end of going through like a cancer struggle and autoimmune complications and bowel issues and stuff like that. Hopefully this gets people thinking, because I think it's important to delve into the arena of the real world, as I call it.
Yes.
And exposing the average listener, to what some people's hardships are. I mean, obviously everyone's problems are proportionate to their own lifestyle.
Yes. Yeah.
But
But I also think in doing this, though, you're then giving a forum to other people, because a lot of people are suffering in silence and don't tell people about their chronic illnesses or what's going on. And when people like you and myself start saying, like your story, you crapped yourself in McDonald's Lithgow. I think there's two elements to that. Is one, that's not an uncommon thing, actually. And in our community of bowel issues, and I belong to numerous Facebook groups about this.
Regular. It's regular.
This is, yeah, and if you have dinner parties or parties, to go around the room and say who has crapped themselves before, the numbers are surprisingly high, whether you've got a bowel condition or not. And the other thing is to inject some humor into that, and to make things a bit light and easy, because we are all battling things that you can't see. As you say, we are just the tip of an iceberg. And it really depends on how well you carry that cross. And sometimes, I have crap days where I don't want to get out of bed, or I want to go back to bed, and just put the pillows, put the doona over my cover and just over my head and just escape from the world. I mean, I'm not going to say that I bounce out of bed every morning and hit the swimming pool and do some laps, because sometimes it can be really tough gig to do that. So I think, presenting the realities of your illness or what you're going through enables then people to think about, well, I'm going through some stuff. Maybe I can talk about this. Maybe I can seek support. I'm not the only one that craps my pants in the car. And with yourself and myself about these things, about some of the strategies that you use. I know for me, with my stomach and bowel issues, I have to carry around a bag full of changes of clothes and the whole thing.
I've always got emergency toilet paper ready to go in the back of the car. But yeah, I could tell 101 stories. I mean, one night before I was diagnosed with Crohn's, I used to hit the clubs in Newcastle, hop on the train from Cardiff in town, and then hit the clubs. And my friends would go, "Why are you doing this shit at a nightclub?" The only person I knew consistently would shit at Fanny's nightclub.
Fabulous. But you know what? Now that you've told that story, I bet there's a lot of people that have gone, "Hey, I've taken a shit at Fanny's as well."
Yeah.
So
it's such a bad sentence, isn't it? Taking a shit at Fanny's. I mean, this isn't one of those weird kink things.
No, but look, between you, me, and the lamppost, I'm glad you got it into the toilet, because I've seen some bad things happen at Fanny's. And
yes, me too. But yeah, like it's a real thing, and as I said, be kind. I mean, I've told. Okay, I'll share one quick shit story, then we'll wrap it up if you want to hear it.
Please do.
All right. So my last, so just
story.
before I moved out to Orange, I had my last shift in the coal mines. I'm not going to say which mine. So as you walk in, at the last toilet you see out, they do the drug testing in there.
Yeah.
I've just come off a 12-hour night shift, and I've got the downtown push down. Like Turtle's head's nearly crowning. I'm racing in there, bag down, straight in there. It's like a reverse Jackson Pollock painting. I've painted that porcelain. It was ridiculous. Anyway, so I've come back out, and then as I've opened the door, I see this big sign saying drug testing in progress, and the lady doing the drug testing, she's like, "Mate, didn't see the fucking sign, mate." I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry." So I got my bag and started to straight out of there quicker. An old mate who was due for his test had his little pee cup, and he's walked in, and just as the door was closed, all you could hear is, "Oh, fucking Jesus Christ." See ya.
Good work, Mitch. Good work. I mean, I'll share a recent shit story where when I was in hospital, they were waiting for me to evacuate my bowels, and I had these fabulous nurses come in every sort of 15 minutes, open the door and fling it open and go, "Has the event occurred?" or "What's happening?"
And we got blast off.
Yeah, and then I wasn't allowed to flush the toilet, because then they needed to inspect what was going on. So there's no humility, there's no sense of dignity or pride. You've just got to
We'll do it. We'll do it.
Happen and invite them in, and let the show begin. Sell the tickets to your crap in the toilet.
Sell the poo tickets. 100%. We all do it, so it's normal. So if you're out there, if you've crapped yourself, I want to hear about it.
Yes. And
So,
we've all got a story. We've all got a story. Absolutely.
So I might I'll wrap things up there because I've got to duck off and go put this sold sign up. So if people want to,
you're going to duck off and go to the toilet.
well, that's why I was late for the interview because I was doing a shit. Like 2 minutes. There's a quick pinch one off. Okay, let's go. So if people want to hear the show, get involved, get in contact with you, where can they find you, and how can they stream your station?
Oh, well, Mood Food Radio is moodfoodradio.com. That's easy stuff, or you can get onto it through MyTuner, Streamer, Listener, all of those apps. You can download the app as well and get it on your phone, so you can, get it wherever you are. We stream stuff that is positive to people's mental health and their well-being. Yep. So everything that we broadcast on there is about, there is music throughout there because music is so integral to people's mental health and mental well-being. But all of the shows that we have, such as Life's a Mitch, are all geared towards being entertaining, but also interesting and informative as well. So we screen everything. We also we screen who advertises with us. We make sure that they are ethical and they're all about well-being. So we don't have alcohol sponsors, for instance. So not that we're anti-alcohol, but it's just not something that we go down the line. But if you want to get in touch with me at Martini Mornings, get onto our socials, which is on Facebook and Insta mainly, and that is, simply Martini Mornings. And if you've got a story to tell, maybe go to Mitch, but maybe come to me as well, because we're always talking to interesting people throughout the day about amazing things. Whether we talk to Peter Mac Cancer Centre, I do a political talk every week with Dr. Arthur Chesterfield Evans. We have, regulars that come on the show to talk about health, well-being, psychology, and people who want to make this world a better place. So
100%.
That's the gearing of Martini Mornings and moodfoodradio.com. So it's a good partnership.
Cool. So once again, guys, I'll post links for the swim, post links for Martini socials, the radio station, and thank you for the collaboration again this year. Because as Martini said, this little show here appears on the station, and I look forward to working again throughout the year. And good luck with the swim. And when I'm in Newey next, we'll catch up for a coffee or something.
Absolutely. Let's do it. It's been far too long between drinks, Mitch, and
no worries, Monica.
and far too long between toilet stories as well. I'm sure we'll have enough to share.
I probably would have crapped myself 2 times between now and then. So, but as always, you're vibrant. You're looking great. Good luck with with your recovery and stuff, and good luck with the swim. And as always, everyone out there, if you have a story to share, you know where to find me. Thanks for listening, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Bye for now.
Bye, Mitch. Bye.